Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, kicking this thing out from under my feet, and I'm about to do a letter from a fan. Got a letter from one of you guys that I thought was worth answering. A few typos in this one, but we're not going to hate on them too much. This letter was written by Don. Thanks for sending it in. Hi, Mr. Fantano. Just like to pose a question to a fellow music addict. I've heard a lot of artists, hip-hop especially due to the culture surrounding the genre, reference struggle as a symbol of authenticity. I feel as if there is a notion in hip-hop that if you haven't had a hard upbringing or been through a tough childhood, that you aren't real and can't appeal to the hip-hop community. People bash Drake having never had a tough life. Damogenesis on Robes said, "You ain't shit if you never struggled." Just wondering if that is a prevalent issue in the industry, because I feel that you get ripped for being privileged or fake because your life wasn't terrible prior to your career. Just interested in your input on that. Have a great day and keep on doing what you're doing. Respect, the Don. Okay, Don, thanks for sending that question in. Thanks for writing. I would say that this is a trend, and this is an expectation in a lot of rap music, but not necessarily just as a requirement to get your foot in the door. I feel like this is an expectation in a lot of rap music because of what a lot of rappers rap about. And so many rappers out there rap about their struggle. I mean, the thing is about Drake is that prior to him saying, "Hey, started from the bottom, now we're here. Hey, started from the bottom, now the whole team here." I feel like before Drake's upbringing and his past as an actor and so on and so forth, while it was mentioned and it was acknowledged and it was made fun of, for a while, there was a moment when he came out with like Take Care and everything, that he had that grace period where people were just kind of enjoying his music. And I feel like that questioning of his upbringing and that questioning of how tough of a life did he really have kind of came up once again to rear its ugly head once he started saying that shit about how he started from the bottom. Listen, this is just kind of an expectation because it's just what a lot of rappers rap about. And it's what a lot of rappers rap about because I feel like the story of rags to riches, the story of becoming something out of nothing, the story of achieving success, becoming that person, achieving the highest levels of artistry or talent in whatever your respective field is, that's just such an inherently American kind of story, an American kind of angle, a hip hop kind of angle. I guess the way that I want to phrase that's just so the American dream. And it's funny that hip hop is so critical of America and American politics, and rightfully so. I'm not questioning that at all, but I'm just sort of pointing out that there's a funny little irony in that despite how critical hip-hop is of America, this genre and this style and this tone of lyricism could not have been incubated in any other cultural setting. And I feel like while rappers out there have written songs and stories about a myriad of different topics, the reason that this desire to achieve, this desire to succeed, this desire to have material wealth, material goods, to, again, sort of have this rag to riches kind of story, to feel like your come up and your struggle was justified because you owned it, you earned it, because you did it all yourself and nobody helped you, and there was a point when you were nothing and nobody cared about you. And then when you started really coming out with music and the music was good, that's when everybody started to really see, the greatness in you. Like, that's such a universally desired thing. And I feel like part of the reason that this narrative has succeeded in hip hop is because the audience has demanded it. The audience has paid for it. The audience has desired it. It's not merely because rap artists started spitting it and that was the only thing rappers have ever been spitting since the beginning. That's just so not the case. That's not the story. That's not the narrative. That's not the history of the genre at all. In fact, even today, I would say that is not the totality of what rappers are rapping about and are referencing in their music. There is quite a bit of diversity out there in the genre, especially when you go into the underground, about what rappers are rapping about. And in fact, there are actually quite a few rap artists out there today, now that we've kind of progressed past the just one lane hedonism and materialism of the bling era. There are actually quite a few mainstream rap artists out there today that aren't so much rapping about their success, but rapping about their personal low points in life. You know, who you have artists like Kanye doing that on his latest material, even Jay-Z doing that, you know, Mr. Success, Mr. Sean Carter, Mr. I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. That guy on his new record is essentially rapping all about his personal moral failings, his personal inabilities to, succeed as a functional human being in his family life, but yet while also achieving this incredible artistic and this incredible sort of business success. So there are quite a few artists out there in the rap game who are sort of addressing those personal faults, addressing those personal issues in song. They're not just kind of just blindly hitting their audience with just success. I came from the bottom. I came from shit. I came from this. I came from that. There's certainly a variety of narratives out there. But I feel like, again, when artists get called on this, it's when, they're talking about struggles that they didn't have, and they're talking about their struggle with no real kind of sense of perspective. Certainly there are artists out there who don't just kind of suffer from this one sort of struggle, this economic, this sort of social status struggle that you're talking about. There are a variety of different struggles that people can incorporate into their music. There are rappers who are in the LGBT community and rap about their struggle as, a gay or a lesbian person. There are rap artists who have addictions and they rap about their struggles with their addiction. Or there are rappers like Eminem who came up rapping about sort of the abuse that he suffered in his life with bullies or, in his family life. There are rap artists out there who rap about their personal struggle with overcoming, all sorts of different personal demons. And again, sort of that struggle to overcome, that struggle to persevere, that's such a universal thing. And there are so many people out there who love listening to art or love taking in art that they find to be inspiring or they find to be driving for them or they find to kind of make them feel less alone in the world and that they're justified in their difficulties and their feelings and their everyday lives and whatever it is they're having a hard time dealing with or getting past. Some people kind of just need that extra moral oomph to kind of push them out of whatever kind of hellhole they've found themselves born into. And for a lot of people, just music kind of serves that option. And hip hop, I think, especially kind of is able to speak to that in that you literally have an artist who is just speaking words to you. There's no melody or anything a lot of the time to kind of distract from the message, distract from the verbiage of what the artist is saying to you. And as a result, I feel like hip hop kind of has, as you've probably already known and has already been shown throughout years and years and years of practice, has this unique ability to deliver a story and deliver a message to an audience in a way that no other genre can. So, aside from maybe spoken word. So I feel like there's a little bit more diversity here topically than you're kind of giving the genre credit for. However, it is a prevailing narrative. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not necessarily a negative thing. And the reason it's there is not just because the artists are serving it up. This is something the audience has demanded and something that has grown more popular with time because people sort of find solace and they find assurance, and they find a lot of things in these kinds of stories, in these kinds of, again, I'll use the word assurances. So thank you for writing this letter. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you got a lot out of this question. Hopefully you got a lot out of this answer. And I will see you guys in the next one. Over here next to my head is another letter from a fan. You can click on that, or you can click on the link to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one forever.